The 2020 election is quickly approaching, with Election Day on November 3rd. If you're 18 or older, don't forget that you're eligible to vote. But voting also comes with some responsibilities, like making sure that you're informed about all of the candidates and propositions you're going to be making important decisions about. If you want to vote but are unsure of where to start your research, keep watching to learn exactly how to research your ballot. One amazing source of information on candidates, propositions, and more is ballotpedia.org. On this website, you can learn about your specific ballot, gather information on the different propositions and candidates, and learn of new ways that you can find information about local elections. To see a sample, just enter your street address and city and hit View My Ballot. Let's check out how some Amador students are researching the candidates, measures, and propositions on their ballot.
I am a first-time voter, so the main way that I get my information off for the candidates are basically for local candidates. I like to research based on their first-person point of view, and the best way for me that I was able to do that is through their own personal campaign websites. And another cool source, not to self-promote at all, but our journalism website is also doing a really huge project right now where we're trying to personally one-on-one interview all of the candidates for Pleasanton mayor. And again, as a voter, that was something that was actually really helpful for me because I was the one who edited a couple of those articles and I actually got to sit in one of the interviews. And I learned a lot. Like you get to, from hearing them talk directly to you, you really get a sense of what kind of a person they are, what kind of a candidate they are, but also just what kind of agenda they have as mayor and how they want to get that across to people.
So just beyond the candidates' websites, some places to get information are Pleasanton Weekly, which endorses candidates, The Independent as well, really any local journalism sources. To plug some things that PAN has done, our social media, Pleasanton Action Network on Instagram. We also hosted a forum with all 4 of our mayoral candidates. So if you want to see more about them, learn what they're about, learn about their policy specifics, then that is also a great video to check out.
I know yesterday, me and my dad and my mom, we sat down together and we just had like a talk about like what does each candidate stand for, like what will each candidate do, like different areas like COVID, and that to me like informed me the most about like all the candidates.
So the way I found out information on like local candidates about voting is because I moved from California to Pennsylvania, so I didn't really know a lot about the local candidates and things like that. So our school actually offered some readings about that, so we could read up on information, learning about our mayor and things like that for our county and our city. And then also in town, in our small little town, we have a Democratic and a Republican office. So if you're interested, you can go to these offices, which is like very close to campus. It's like less than a mile off campus, so you can walk up to it and read about the local candidates in your parties. So whatever party you identify with, you can read up on that.
I researched for voting by reading the Alameda County voter guide that they give you, they mail to your house, and I go to the candidates' websites. I try and read up on opposition and articles in favor of different propositions because I find that propositions are the hardest to understand. They're the most confusingly worded. So I think it's really important to do a little extra research on those, maybe talk to people you know, talk to people in the community you trust, who you think would see the world in a similar way that you do when voting.
Number one, I think that social media has become an increasingly important tool for voters to get information, especially here in California. Because of our proposition system, we have a lot more stuff that we have to know than the average voter does. So I've seen recently Instagram posts have a lot of Instagrammers posting stuff on their story, which are basically infographics with slides about propositions.
To get information on candidates, I usually just rely on social media since I get most of like my information off of like people's stories because they're really informative. And ever since Corona began and like the quarantine started, I've been on social media a lot more, and a lot of people have been posting awareness stuff on it. So that's where I get a lot of my information about voting and candidates. I use Instagram, Snapchat, and TikTok, and all 3 of them have like a warning for false information, and they have and like next to the warning they have a link to like the correct information or more information about this and stuff like that.
Even if you aren't able to vote in this election, you can still try out some of these tips to stay informed about current events. We hope you learned something new from this segment, and happy voting. Now let's go back to the studio.